What's up, everybody? So we finally got the chance to check out Disney's Aulani Resort on Oahu, Hawaii, and I must say it was an absolute blast. From the time we drove up and saw the Disney Aulani sign, my kids were so excited. We've never really been to a Disney park or a resort before, so this was our first time. And I will say, if we have the opportunity to come back again, we definitely will. I want to give you guys a quick tour of just the grounds if you're considering going there. And as you'll see here, this is the main entryway where you walk in, the main lobby. And just the design that was put into this place was very detailed, just to reflect, I guess, the Polynesian vibe that's typically in Hawaii. When you walk out of that first lobby, you get an overall look of the grounds, so you can see the gardens. You can see the different buildings, you can see the pools, and this was taken pretty early in the morning, so you can't see a ton, but hopefully this gives you just the overall vibe. It was very quiet and peaceful at this time of morning, but if you were to come back a few hours later, it'd be hustling and bustling with just families and lots of noise, kids having fun, etc., etc. Moving back into the lobby, you have two main hallways here. One is the check-in. The other side is some shops, some restaurants, and it's a really cool feel, as I had said before. And I'm just surprised at the detail that went into thinking this place out. Here's the front desk. It's obviously not busy at 6:30 in the morning. And what we really liked when we checked in, which was a little later in the afternoon, was this area right here was for the kids. They instantly gravitated towards it, stuck to the TV, really helped out with our check-in process. As you move a little bit further down that hallway back towards that main entryway with the balcony, you've got some models here which kind of give out that Moana vibe of Hawaii. You've got some shops here too. This shop specifically called Halemanu, if I even pronounce that right. And here you can pick up some clothing and stuff for your luau if you want to take some family portraits. They've got some pictures in here too. I walked in here very briefly. Nothing really caught my eye, probably because I had my kids with me and I was trying to distract them from pulling everything off the shelf. And then in this next shop, we actually went into, it's called Kalipa's store. And this was just like knickknack stuff. They had some Disney dolls here. They had some soft drinks. They had some just Disney memorabilia. It was pretty cool. I think they had sunscreen too. But as you can see here, as we're walking down, there was a lot to see within this main hallway. And I think there was another store that we'll check out in a second. But on this sign, if you pause for a second, you'll see that there's a variety of things to choose from. You can go explore. For purposes of this, we're actually going to go down a little bit here and check out it's called the ground level, so it's below the lobby. You can take the elevator down or you can walk down. But basically at the foot of these stairs is a restaurant that we checked out, which was very, very good. They were super accommodating to our kids' needs because our kids can't really eat gluten. And the food was great. I would just recommend going a little later in your trip so you're not jet lagged super bad depending on where you're coming from. And here's a look at the menu. We had a 3-course meal. Very, very good. Ended up taking it out because our kids fell asleep. But what are you going to do, right? So as you walk out of that restaurant area, this was one of the main walks through the gardens. And it's absolutely beautiful at this time of day. Beautiful a little later. I personally like the peace and quiet. I had to sneak out a little bit earlier in the morning. This one pond was really cool because they had some nice fish here that you could check out. I never really saw any feedings, but one thing I did notice here around this general area is there are character sightings and pictures that you can do throughout the day. That's one thing I really liked about Disney. Like, we met Goofy, we met Lilo, we met Stitch. I think I saw Moana going through. So if you get the Aulani app, you can actually check the app and look for the different times that they're going to appear. So that was really cool. One thing that we really loved was the lazy river, which I'm focusing in on now. And we spent so much time, you can swim through it without an inner tube. Our kids had life vests. We had inner tubes. It's kind of whatever you really want to do, but super chill. I don't think you can bring any types of drinks in the pool though, but we had an absolute blast. And if you can, definitely let me know and correct me. But as you proceed down the walkway here, they clean it every day, so it was in pretty good shape. The grounds were in amazing condition, just in terms of overall maintenance, and I was just overall impressed with the entire experience at Aulani because they kept things very clean. These were washed down every day. As we're walking up here, here's another entryway to my favorite place, the Lazy River. They've got people here during the day that put the inner tubes in if you want to use those. But there's, I think, 2 or 3 in and out places for that specific Lazy River. So if you're like me and you'll be spending a lot of time there, kicking back with your family, doing what you do, looking up at the gardens, going under bridges, fountains, some small waterfalls, but they're overall a blast, and I would highly recommend checking those out. What we're walking up to now is I guess it's called a splash pad, and we spent time here on the first day, I believe, and there's a towel hamper on the left, I think, that you can throw used towels in. But tons of chairs everywhere. We didn't really have issues finding chairs, and they had a bunch of bridges. Once the water and things get going, kids just flock to this area, and it is an absolute blast. I think there were some buckets, there were just some streams of water. You're gonna get soaked, especially if it's hot. It's a great place to be, just to soak in the rays or get a little bit damp. This is obviously closed off. It's getting a little bit later and brighter, as you can see, but this is mostly right in the center of the resort, overlooking where you see all these buildings and balconies, or lanais as they call them in Hawaii, overlooking the area. Here's one live during the day so you can kind of get a sense of the water. But going back to the Lazy River, which just showing you, this is, I think, the second or third entryway. Again, tons of chairs here, easy in and out. You can just kind of walk in. It's not like you have to jump into it like your regular pool. One thing I did want to point out here, though, is that directly behind here, you've got a little shack. Well, not a shack, but a little pool house. They've got pool chair policies here. I'm not sure how strictly it's enforced, to where if you leave your things over an hour, people may take your towels just to open up for other people. But in this place, this is where we went to get our daily wristbands, because you need those for the pool. And we would get towels for our chairs. You can also get life vests here for your children, which that just added an additional level of comfort for me, especially when we were in the pools or going down water slides. So if you want to use that, I think you just have to return those by the end of the day. And yeah, here again, I know I keep saying Lazy River, maybe because I'm obsessed with it, but here's some more inner tubes right here. Another in and out place. I think we're up to 3 by now. And then one thing I had on the first day an issue with was just the location of, like, where do you go to pee, or where do you go to the restroom? And going in, we actually found one located in this general area that our kids went to, and once we got the original lay of the land, everything was fairly easy to do. So as you'll see, kind of walking down here a little bit, this opens up to another pool, and up here on the left you've got a little small store, and within the store you can get drinks, you can get some snacks for the pool. Looks like it's called the Lava Shack. And this shaved ice, check it out, you won't be disappointed. Super quick, I know. But anyway, you also have a Mama's snack shop. I didn't stop there. I don't know what they necessarily had there, but overall it was pretty good from what I heard from a few people. I was just, you got hungry swimming in the pool all day, right? And just being out in the sun. And here were the restrooms, in case you guys were wondering, that we found. That was kind of our go-to around all these pools. I don't know if there's another one or not. We spent some time at this pool. This is one of the main larger pools. I think it has a max depth of around 4 feet. and we spent some time here. It's got a cool little cave you can swim underneath, and easy in and out with the steps. Directly above this, I believe, is a water slide. It doesn't go into this pool, though, but it goes into another small area. As you can see here, tons of chairs, got your umbrellas. My recommendation, I mean, you obviously don't need to be there at 6:30 to 7 a.m. because there's plenty of chairs available. But as it gets later in the morning, these typically fill up, and just based on the number of people there, it can fill up rather quickly and get a little harder to find a chair. This was one of the restaurants, and I cannot recall what it is called, but it was really grab and go for breakfast, coffee, etc., etc. I believe this was another bathroom here on the right. One thing, and I'm not going to call it a secret because you'll eventually be able to find it. This pool that we're walking up to now was one of my absolute favorite pools. So that restaurant directly behind us with the grab and go, I think that they serve from that restaurant to this pool. This pool's got the infinity vibe, right? So you're looking out, you can look out to the ocean or the little lagoon area, and our kids spent a ton of time here. You know, it was really, really fun pool. Directly next to the pool, there was a hot tub. So it was constantly into the hot tub, into the pool, out of the pool, into the hot tub. And they have this really cool cave, cove, I don't even know what you want to call it, that had a really cool feeling to it. So we'd often swim up straight underneath one of those little arches and look out at the pool. And one other thing that I wanted to point out here was a very smaller splash pad that kids could play in. I'm thinking like 1 to 3, where water's coming up. It's not obviously coming up now, but we spent maybe like 5 to 10 minutes here because our kids are a little bit older. I think, yeah, ours are around 5 and 7, so they weren't very excited about that. Again, as you'll see here, got tons of chairs, more umbrellas. But now we're making our way down to the beach area, which we spent some time down. And throughout the property, there's a lot of places to return your towels and just check in for certain things back at that main pool area that I was talking about. Walking down to the main beach, you'll see here, you just walk out. They've got these areas within this lagoon area to prevent waves from coming in. So this made us feel really a little bit safer with allowing the kids out in the water, the ocean water, salt water, so that they weren't going to be plummeted by waves. And I think that that was really a smart design on Disney's part. Moving back, I mean, well, actually, before we do that, here's a live view during the day. So you can see there's not really any waves. Tons of people come out here, build sandcastles and whatnot. Walking a little bit further down, going back to the walkway, you'll see here up on your left, this is a rental place. Don't know what it's called off the top of my head. We didn't rent anything, but I think you can rent paddle boards and some other specific things. And directly behind, you've got another restaurant here and just multiple levels of seating. I know I said earlier that there's not a ton of seating, but if you get there early enough, you have a variety of different places to choose from. Some are adult only, some are for kids. Up here on the left is a wedding chapel that I just showed you, and I think we saw one wedding there the entire time we were there, which was 3 days, and then got your look back on the lagoon. This was up more into the property on the other side of that pool and garden area that we just were. I was just out for a peaceful stroll. I think I heard some birds chirping. Just to kind of reset, get a great start on my day for vacation. There was also a childcare thing. I can't remember what it was called. It was Aunt Something's Beach House. If you get a chance and would like to drop your kids off there for some time with your person, just to hang out, grab some drinks by the pool, whatever you want to do, highly recommend it. I would book the reservations in advance though, but we really enjoyed our hour and a half that we had together. Here's another look of the lagoon. Check out this Moana boat. Once the sails are up, it's all over. I'll be out there singing How Far I'll Go. But we did not take this, but we did enjoy our time here. So we keep walking through the grounds here. This was Off the Hook Grill, so there's a bar. I think you can eat here as well. And really enjoyed our time. As I had some Mai Tais our first afternoon there. Just past a water slide, and what we're passing by now is the stairs up to the water slide. So when you go up here, there's a water slide without using an inner tube, and then there's another one with using an inner tube. Absolute blast. I would recommend doing the ones with the inner tubes. I didn't do the one with just me because I had my son up there and I wasn't confident that he could go down by himself. But yeah, this place, guys, it's amazing. We had an absolute blast. And look, our boy Stitch is here. We got some pictures with him. There's so many photo ops throughout this entire resort that it's an absolute blast. And yeah, here's another picture or video of this rock just to give you some overview as to what it looks like some in the day as it gets a little bit later in the day. The grounds are beautiful. We would definitely come back and visit here if we can again, especially that lazy river, which I keep harping on about over and over again. But yeah, I would use the Aulani app prior to your visit, book the things that you can book. You also get an Aulani email, which is helpful to kind of explain the things that book up, the things that don't. Here's another cool thing, zooming in here. We have a part of the lazy river that went under the bridges, and like I said, there's tons of fountains, and you can go through waterfalls, and it's a blast. But just walking through here, there's just sense of peace at this time of day. Gets a little crazy later in the day. There's just people everywhere. Everyone's just here to have a good time, enjoy themselves. And I hope that if you do make it out to Aulani, that you do the same thing we did. Just take your time, unplug a little bit, enjoy it. Here's a view of the lazy river during the day to show you how busy it may get, and just a little bit of what it looks like later in the day once the sun gets out a little bit more. Here's a picture I took, later on the day, just to show you some things that are happening around the resort and just the amount of people. Tons of fun, great areas to walk around in and explore. And really just wanted to end with, hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you have any questions on my experience or our family's experience that I could help out with, definitely leave a comment. Happy to help out wherever I can. And check back in the future. I hope we make it back out to Hawaii. But we'll see. If you get a chance to go to Aulani, enjoy it. Have a good one, guys. Peace.